General Greene here at islandproject.com. I have a very important critical survival update video here on Friday 11th, 2025. This is going to be short and succinct. It will be an exact action strategy and plan that you can implement today on this beautiful Friday to protect you and your family from what's ahead, but more importantly, profit from the economic US dollar crisis and collapse I have predicted successfully going on nearly 20 years. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Christopher Greene. I invented alternative media television in the days before social media even existed. I also predicted the rise of Bitcoin. I've been a leading investor and advocate. I've also taught the largest platform in the world, bitcoinrich.com, which is the biggest school in crypto Bitcoin education in the world to this day. And I also invented a no bank debt, first of its kind in the world, $33.5 million fractionally owned real estate project development, which owns the best real estate in the world on the beach and the ocean, which is going to be tokenized into billions of dollars. I'm the inventor, of course, of tokenized fractional real estate, and we are the first company in the world, along with our amazing Christian, God-leading, faith-first individuals like you tuning in, that have actually done it. So it's very important to understand that what I'm speaking to isn't an idea. It's not a guess. It's already been accomplished, and our predictions have all been realized since this platform's advent, all glory to Jesus Christ, in 2008 and 2009. Today, with all my expertise in the space of blockchain and cryptocurrency, currency wars, geopolitical action sets, everything I've built along with you over the last several beautiful decades will result in a culmination of the exact events that will transpire this weekend and in the coming days, weeks, and months. Now, my goal for all of you tuning in is you take this exact playbook and you implement it for you and your family. Not only will I reveal everything that's about to unfold, but in addition, what you actually do in the environment, not just to survive, but to thrive. And of course, as I have always said, pivot, leverage, and profit. Spoke with a gentleman, his name is Larry, actually. He's an Island Project investor out in Arizona yesterday. And he said, Christopher, I just want to thank you. I've been following you for over 10 years. And he said he joined my school, Bitcoin Rich, when it was only $200. And he said that he is a crypto millionaire because of me. He said that he owns a lot of XRP. He, of course, owns a lot of RSR, as I've advised, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And we were just sharing, number one, some faith and love and just good positive vibes, but also just where we're headed as a nation and as a world. It's also important to note that my largest investor base is from the great state of 1776, Texas. That is something that I've always emphasized, because the great state of Texas loves America, loves the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And Texas, in my view, is one of the, if not greatest states in the American Republic. And so I tip my hat to all of you cowboys and digital cowboys like myself out in the beautiful state of Texas today. It is an absolute honor. I've been having a lot of phone calls with my father. We, of course, have members flying in from all around the world to enjoy their beautiful investment in the coming days, weeks, and months, and we've been working around the clock. So I'm going to have some updates on that as well. But let's get into the dollar crisis and collapse. Now, at this point, having our predictions all come into reality, you know, it should be pretty obvious to the American people what's happening. I think that they see the hyperinflation, that they understand that we're moving into a new system, right? It's pretty obvious to the average Joe that maybe's, you know, working and not paying as close attention as some of you might be tuning in. They figured out that something is awry, that obviously with the action sets that Donald Trump is taking through the tariff wars, that this is some kind of reset that's occurring. And it's even what the financial elites have called it in recent years. We, of course, just came off the heels of really massive, giant lockdowns and, a financial scare in 2020. And now we've built up into a new systemic event, which has much more to do with capital flows, which I want to speak to today. My long prediction we predicted, along with you, the lockdowns of 2020. My long prediction that would be following the lockdowns, the physical martial law lockdowns of 2020, that the next lockdown would be a financial lockdown and a lockdown of capital controls. For those of you that don't know what capital controls are essentially when a government will prevent the free flow of capital during an emergency event or crisis or a panic or a banking event or a tariff war. And as a matter of national security, the average person will be prevented and also incentivized to buy the assets of the United States as the last option of last resort. Okay, so I want you to understand that where this is headed will be an emergency crisis event. And the end result and end goal will be capital controls, asset freezes, bail-ins, and bank runs in the United States of America. Now, let me explain where this is headed. We have seen a cat and mouse game the last week that has been the most volatile, arguably, in financial history. Now, I'm a financial expert. I came from Wall Street. For those of you that don't know, I started this channel to expose the bailouts in 2008 and 09. That's literally when I picked up a camera and I started exposing the too big to fail criminals that ripped off you and the American public in 08 and 09. And that's how I got my start. Exposing the lies and also predicting and positioning all of you tuning in for success for where we were being led. So it's important to understand where the American people are going and where we are all being led by the global cabal that is in charge of these geopolitical games and the shakeup that's currently taking place. So the number one takeaway, and has been the takeaway for as long as I've been on this platform, please like and share. I really appreciate you. Jesus Christ is King, and you're beautiful, by the way, and I love you so much. But the primary takeaway is this is all by design, okay? None of this is happening accidentally. None of this is happening by surprise. None of this is a result of events that couldn't have been predicted. So I want you to understand this. We've predicted these exact events. You have seen these events transpiring a mile away. We didn't always know how they would get us here, but we knew that we were going here. And so you must understand that this systemic restructuring, this Bretton Woods, Mar-a-Lago Accord digital reset into the new blockchain technology, currency, Bitcoin, cryptos, and tokenized worldwide assets is a by design, engineered, and instituted transition wealth transfer collapse. So let that be your first takeaway tuning in. A lot of people will say things like, well, they didn't see it coming, so that's why they had to do the lockdowns. Or, well, we never could have predicted that financial shock, and that's the only reason they had to take our rights away. Or they'll say things, if that event didn't happen, then there wouldn't be a need for the surveillance, Christopher. But of course, they had to respond to that problem and give us a new solution. That's called Hegelian dialectic, for those of you that don't know. That means that the elites that are in charge engineer crises long in advance, and they create the problem sets that they want to later solve their agenda item problems and check off on those items to take again the herd and lead the horse to water, so to speak, so that they drink. So point number one is that this is all by design. Now let's talk about the tariff wars. I've taken notes so I can keep this very succinct and actionable for you today, and I'm really counting on you to share this. They don't want this information out. You'll notice that a lot of my videos disappear because they're not allowed to be online. So please, for the love of God, share the content. We'll keep it all family friendly today, and that way it can be really shareable, and you can be confident it's going to get to the right people and that it's going to help a lot of people tuning in. So we are in the tariff wars. The big announcement came earlier today that China has fully retaliated with 125% tariffs. Earlier this morning, those of you that study currency and financial markets would notice that the 10-year note imploded higher. That's the exact opposite of what Donald Trump wants. Again, the goal is to bring interest rates down, but the reversion is actually happening. So the 10-year Treasury skyrocketed today, even with all the measures being taken as a part of the tariff war. Also, it's very important to note that instead of the US dollar currency gaining strength, it actually weakened today. Very, very monumentally. Huge. Like absolutely, if you pull a chart, look at the last 6 months of the US dollar, the dollar is steadily declining. For those of you that understand currencies and what's going on, that essentially means that more rampant hyperinflation is taking place. If the dollars are worth less, that means that your purchasing power is declining. That means real assets like the beautiful multi-million-dollar home behind me becomes worth more. Gold, silver increases in value. Real world assets become the world safe haven as people panic into something that will compete and or exceed the inflationary measures that are currently taking place. Now, the big notable event that I was waiting for before I produced this video, because I could sense spiritually that there was going to be an announcement, is the U.S. Federal Reserve confirmed, as I've long predicted, and this just happened a few minutes ago, that the federal, or not the federal government, because the Federal Reserve is a private bank, but the private bank that is the central bank, which deserves and needs to be abolished at all costs. And I recommended Donald Trump, and I have for a long time, he needs to end the Federal Reserve. But that's a side point. But they have come and made a public statement to the American people, I just posted on X, that they are willing to take every bailout measure needed. This will include interest rate cuts all the way down to zero. This will include infinite money printing. This will include new potential TARP bailout mechanisms. This will include buying U.S. stock and Dow Jones Industrial Average futures. This will also include potentially buying even specific stocks in the U.S. stock market. It will include every imaginable measure that you can think of. This will also include buying its own debt. So the United States government, through the privately owned central bank, has now admitted to you, the American people, that they will intervene at any measure, at any extreme mechanism that will be needed to, quote, stabilize the financial system. Now, this is very good news for our investments. This is very good news for real estate. This is very good news for cryptos, and we're going to get to those action sets in a minute. However, it is the worst possible, terrible nightmare, Great Depression 1929 scenario for the country. It is the worst possible outcome. Again, it is the exact opposite of what needs to be done. What needs to be done is the United States needs to get rid of its debt, right? That's why Elon Musk is working so hard with Doggy. They're attempting to cut costs. What they need to do is clean up the balance sheet. And this is what Donald Trump is attempting to do with the tariff war. We don't want countries unfairly taking advantage of us, like China. So what is happening now with central bank intervention, which Trump has forced his hand, will be a nightmare scenario and assures, and listen to what I'm telling you, guarantees the collapse of the US dollar. And this is your primary take-home point today on this beautiful Friday, is that the guarantee of the US dollar collapse into a hyperinflationary reset, pre-planned by design, governed by the cabals internationally, is now a guaranteed event in the United States. This is not something in the future. This is not a prediction. It is unraveling right now as we speak. And so this warning in this 101 playbook, which I'm revealing tens of millions of dollars of information, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars of information for free right now to the American public of specific actions you can take to protect you and your family and ensure your own survival for what we know is ahead. Now, look, we're seeing a lot of insiders take very crazy moves recently in the market. Let me explain myself. You'll notice that yesterday, Donald Trump, or the day before that, he said a couple things. One was, he called that at the 90-day pause before it was announced, fake news. I know a lot of you saw that. We got major headlines and a major announcement from Trump. He said any pause was fake news. Then the next day, he went on True Social, and he said it's a good time to buy U.S. stocks. Think about what maybe insiders were doing then. And then immediately after, calling it fake news that there would be a pause, declared a 90-day pause of fake news. Now, what's really interesting about that is, well, we obviously know what happened there. Insiders, I believe almost in a 1776 revolutionary moment, are gaming the system. You know, what you think about this or not is a whole nother separate issue. But the insiders are now gaming the system in a 1776 type heist. And they are gathering as much capital as they possibly can in this moment because they're going to need it. Why do these people need it? And Donald Trump was even at the White House yesterday. He was, I don't know who the gentleman was, but he was saying things like, you made $2 billion today. You made $1 billion. You made $500 million. I want you to understand what's being done. And it very might well be the thing that needs to be done. Again, this is economic, financial, 1776 revolutionary type warfare occurring right now. And if Donald Trump's truly leading a revolution, as many people believe, that would mean that him and his insiders are going to need as much financial capital as possible to go to war with the deep state and to circumvent an attempt to restore our freedom. And so let me explain to you what's happening. So we have the tariff wars occurring. Trump is attempting to bring every country to the negotiating table. In this cat and mouse game, every country is being negotiated with individually. There was even an announcement that China may be willing to go to the negotiating table or might not be willing to go to the negotiating table. So China has retaliated with 125% tariffs. That's massive. We also have a very big manufacturing problem here in the United States in the fact that large Fortune 100 companies are going to be very hesitant to make capital expenditure investments when they don't know what's going on. Now, we can hope and pray that maybe Donald Trump has already tipped off inside information to those companies. But if you have to think about this from a business perspective, if you're Fortune 100 and your Apple computers, and you have no idea what's going to happen next, and you have no idea what deal will be brokered or not brokered, potentially, and you have no idea what the impact or effect of the tariffs in the cat and mouse game will be, and then you're told it's fake news and then it's not fake news, and then China implements 125% tariffs, but then Trump says there might be a deal. And then Trump pauses with a 90-day pause. Completely objectively speaking, outside of the politics, you're going to stop spending money. The first thing that any prudent money manager is going to do is they're going to hold on to their wallets, stop spending, and wait for clarity. So I want you to understand that we're going to have a probably short-term economic slowdown in an extremely uncertain period. What does this mean, however? This means that the sovereign nature of the U.S. petrodollar system that was long backed by oil and the military-industrial complex has officially collapsed. This means that the most brilliant minds, including you tuning in and myself, will be looking for more and more safe havens outside of collapsing sovereign governments, outside of uncertain currency futures that they don't know or understand because they're not in control of. And they're going to move their money sequentially into the assets they have complete dominion and sovereignty over. And so we'll speak to those assets. But before I go to those assets, I want you to understand that this collapse is not an accident. It's been completely 100% engineered to fulfill my long-term vision, which I've shared with all you, my long-term prediction that Bitcoin would overthrow government sovereignty and hegemony, that it would take over and be forced on the American people and citizens worldwide, that you had no other option but to take my advice and buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and real assets along with us, that you have no other solution but to exit the banks in a panic and to buy as much real hard asset real estate as you possibly can with cash flows, use case, decentralization, and a diversified pool of assets, that there is no alternative but that. And so I really want you to understand, I'm saying this from the deep down of the bottomest, most beautiful part of my heart, that these are the actions that I'm about to reveal to you now that you must take, that there is no other alternative. There is no other option but to take this advice and to move with rapidity as a result of what we know is ahead. I wrote down here that this is the next big headline that I want you to consider. There's a global bond market collapse currently taking place. U.S. Treasury debt is on fire as a result of these negotiations and these tariffs that are being slapped on countries like China and others. They are retaliating with aggressive selling of U.S. Treasury debt. This is a very slippery slope. It is a very tricky relationship with other countries. It has long been used as a tactic of war. The United States can use or implement military force. China can use financial and economic force. Again, embargoes always lead to physical war and conflict and Pearl Harbor style attacks, just like we saw during World War II with the imposition of an oil embargo. And also arguable tariffs on a lot of different types of products and services and taxes that were enforced on Japan, which led Japan's leadership to the attack on the United States and, of course, the entrance into World War II. So I want you to understand that the history of economic, financial, non-violent actions lead to the physical outburst and conflict, leads to the Pearl Harbors, leads to the Reichstag events, leads to those types of moments throughout history, which is where we're headed, unless there is some kind of deal that is negotiated that will benefit and serve both parties currently in active negotiation. Honestly, I pray that Donald Trump can pull it off. It's a very dangerous, slippery slope. If there's anyone that can do it, it would be him, but there is no guarantees. And so we must prepare at all costs for every possible outcome. You know, what makes me different from a lot of people that you follow is I always say, prepare for the worst, but get on giant offense. Like, we're not just in it to play defense, build bunkers, get survival supplies, bug out bags. I mean, I've sold tens of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of survival supplies in recent years, and you've benefited from it. I mean, how many of you have bought gold and silver from me? Now you're experiencing record new all-time breaking world-class prices. You bought all the survival gear and the food and the water storage and the filtration systems from me all those years right before the lockdowns in 2020 and the toilet paper pandemoniums and this huge supply shocks and the whole world being shut down. So I want you to understand that your preparation is key, and I'm huge on that. But I'm also big on technology, and I'm big on offense. And I'm big on you getting rich, and I'm big on you making money, and I'm big on you protecting you and your family. I want you strong. This is a strong Christian nation. You are the strong spiritual warrior class. And my goal is to not only have you prepare for the things that could be the worst scenarios, the grid downs, the EMPs, the next lockdown, martial law, the next thing spreading in our skies, whatever it might be, but also to get on offense for prosperity and for success, not because it's about the money, but because you are a weapon for Jesus Christ the King, and you are needed in this very specific time like Noah. And this is biblical prophecy unfolding before us, and is my primary job as the general, and is the primary direction that I've received from Jesus Christ to equip you with these tools so that you can survive and thrive in the storm, that you're going to get to the other side, that you will reach the mountaintop with us. And so I want you to understand what I stand for and why I sit here humbly before you today as a servant of Jesus Christ and God the Father, coming through the Holy Spirit in this message. And so we are in a global bond market collapse. China and other countries, Japan included, even an ally, are selling debt. This money has to go somewhere. It's either going to go to other countries, it is going to go to other securities, or it is going to go, more importantly, to my long-standing, now manifested and accurately predicted, successful #1 investment I personally ever made, and many of my members and students have ever made in their lives: Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain tech. The tokenization of real-world assets and the move to an entirely new AI, robotic age, and new technologically industrialized revolution of the future. So I want you to understand that as a byproduct of the physical, tangible, financial, monetary events taking place and the political shakeup in the world at large, almost like having a Rocky figure like Donald Trump, fighting the deep state every single day, rising above all the attacks. It's going to be tumultuous. That there's going to be economic, financial, political upheavals. There's going to be sociological distortions that are going to be tough to understand, and the cat and mouse game and the art of the negotiation deal. And I want you to understand where the water, so to speak, will flow. So all of this debt is being sold as rates rise and the dollar collapses. Capital is flooding outside of the United States, outside of the country. And the wealthiest in the world today, which I see firsthand, having been very blessed and exposed to that environment my entire life, to be honest with you, is, one thing I noticed even decades ago when I was in my 20s as a young man, is I noticed that the financial elites bought homes not to live in them, but to make a bank. And I saw very, as a young man, I remember having conversation with my own father. I said, it's amazing. Dad, we live in all these amazing neighborhoods and all this gorgeous real estate everywhere. And I said, why don't these people live in their homes? How come all these homes that are worth $5 and $10 million that surround us, how come they're vacant and there's no one in them? And that was the start of a financial awakening, that I realized that, yes, the financial elites bankroll their money and prosperity into financial assets they control, that they're sovereign over, and that homes and real estate really aren't a place to live for them. They might own 10 and live in one. But homes and real estate are a bank that they control outside of the U.S. government, outside of the system, of which they can use all kinds of things to their leverage and advantage. Whether or not that's tapping equity or making additional investments, or it's producing cash flow and passive income while they sleep through rents and other types of amortization, depreciation schedules, all these things. I mean, that's what really lit me up and got me passionate about real estate. And I realized and put two and two together with all my experience, all my success in crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin, and realized, look, there's an opportunity here to tokenize every single home that is being underutilized. There's an opportunity to provide access to the best Americans that can't afford beachfront and oceanfront properties, where they can own and directly access the best investments in the world. This has never been humanly possible in the entirety of civilization. That we have broken past the chains of feudal society and kings and queens that owned all the land, and then the lords owned the second parts. And then there was a feudal society, and the rest were essentially slaves. That for the first time, because of the democratization of not just social media, which we helped build, but because of the technological footprint, and I saw that with my Bitcoin investments grow to tens, hundreds of millions of dollars. And I saw that opportunity would only exist for a short period of time as we were reset into the new financial economic order. And this was long before they even termed it the Great Reset. So I want you to understand where this is going, where the capital flows are going to go, how this is stoking a fuel to the fire. Gold, silver, real physical assets, real estate specifically, especially the best real estate, especially the high-end, very exclusive. They're not making any more beachfront, folks. They're not making any more Bel Air. They're not making any more Maui Boo. They're not making any more Oahu, Waikiki beachfront, as the Island Project owns. There's not any more of it. We own the only ski lodge on Deer Valley Mountain that you could possibly own. There's no more. It is scarce. It is in fierce demand. We are in competition with BlackRock and global equity and hedge funds, and now soon a tsunami coming in of fractionalized, tokenized worldwide assets. That is the future of money and technology. I want you to understand the storm that's coming and the wind that is filling our sail, and how important it has been what we have truly built. And it's such an honor. It's so exciting. We will be tokenizing very, very soon our private portfolio of freedom and liberty, our own sovereign, independent nation state with all the advantages of traditional real estate investment, and then so much more. The technological advantages, the ability to basically move anywhere in the world, have all of your tangible wealth move with you. As an Island Project member, millions of dollars. You can move around the world just like Bitcoin with the direct attached ownership of the physical asset class that you see behind me and our host of properties already physically acquired and owned outright with no debt, no bank debt at all. And you can travel and operate in a new digitized ecosystem and economy that has been built through the glory of God that never existed before. And you can participate in not something just great, but also in a lifestyle investment, which is truly, life is short. Go enjoy yourself. Experience the best of the best while you still can. And so we have global capital flows occurring right now, countries moving their money and resources outside of the system. This is the perfect setup. Ladies and gentlemen, the perfect conditions for the Bitcoin crypto and real asset, tokenized worldwide assets revolution. And again, it's not an accident. So for those of you that might just have started following me, I've noticed we've gotten tens of thousands of new subscribers recently. Thank you so much. But if you're just following me now, I want you to understand, if you've just tuned into me for the first time, that none of this is by accident. It didn't happen randomly. That this has been the plan for multiple decades. This is why I've been teaching about Bitcoin with a vengeance. It's why I sold the XRP inception, told you to buy as much as possible, because I knew that it would reset the system, and that this was the new system, that this is what they had set up as a Trojan horse in democratic form with amazing people like myself that helped build it in an open source way. That we were riding the wave as digital cowboys and building the new ecosystems of the future before what is happening right now here on the 11th. Not a moment ahead, not a prediction of the future for the reset. This is the economic nail in the coffin of the US dollar. And I want you to understand, I'm not the only person saying it. This is the absolute nail in the coffin. You're at the funeral of the US dollar right now. You must get out of the system to protect yourself. Not just to protect yourself, but to prosper in the future. It is over for the US dollar. And this is actually what Trump knows as well. God bless his soul, but he knows it too, just like I know it. And this is why he's resetting it. And this is why the cat and mouse. And this is why the signals. And this is why the insiders are taking control right now. I want you to understand this. I mean, there was more money made on Donald Trump's tweet a couple days ago in the denial that it was fake news to not fake news, and then it's a good time to buy. Do you know how many billions of dollars were made? Not just in direct ownership of stocks, but I'm talking like options, strategies, and all kinds of things that were implemented by very sophisticated financial elites. We're talking billions, maybe trillions of dollars. And Donald Trump is letting us know about it. He's there with the team. That's what's happening. And you have to understand that. And it also signals to you what you need to be doing as well. Now, of course, not all of you have access to, inside information or sweetheart deals, or, you're not sitting inside the, Oval Office of the White House. But there is so much that you can do. And I'm telling you what you can do right now. And you can make millions literally in the next few days. And that's no joke. I want you to understand, while a lot of people were underestimating what Trump said, you could have been buying long-dated call options with $1,000 and making $10 million in the U.S. stock market. Look for Donald Trump's signals is what I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you how to get rich right now. And I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And so we see, for example, like in real estate, just to give another example, people are concerned with rates. They're actually really of no concern. All deals are done in cash. Every deal we do is in cash. Every deal I'm competing on in Hawaii, for example, or Maui, or the Big Island, which we just bought a new $6 million beachfront home there. It's all cash. We're only competing in cash. In fact, even that property wasn't even on the market. That was a deal that was in our pocket with someone that we actually knew with our 3 generations of history on the island. So all these deals, what I'm telling you is all the deals are outside of the system. I see a lot of Americans like, well, rates keep going up. It's got to affect. No. The money's coming out into the new system. And I want you to understand how much new fresh liquidity is coming in as a result of fractionalization and tokenization. Okay, this means that more liquidity than has ever existed in human civilization financial markets will be pouring into the best real estate assets in the world. This means it's democratized for the first time. You can buy a fraction of a beachfront house, a fraction of a freaking estate, a fraction of a ranch. That's never happened before in human history. So more liquidity than has ever existed in human possible history is coming in. Rates really don't even matter. What matters is the dollar is losing its value, and so people have to panic into something. And so what are they going to panic into? The assets that I've recommended to you. Also, the big event and the thing that's going to happen next, which I'll be honest, on a personal opinion note, which now this is my opinion, I'm not happy about, but it's going to happen. Declaration with war with Iran is imminent. It could be as soon as this weekend. And they're going to need a distraction. And I don't believe that the talks, maybe there's, I don't know, some kind of progress, but there's no way in heck on God's green, beautiful earth that Iran is going to comply. So whatever you think about that is a side point. Let's get outside of the opinion, because I'm against the wars. I don't want any more war. And that's why I was, promoting Donald Trump, because I didn't want him to do another war. And that's my opinion. But what I do actually think is going to happen is more war. I think more war, and just like we saw today with the Federal Reserve admitting that they are willing to do anything, whatever it takes. As many bailouts that will be needed, as many more PPP loans that they have to do, as many more lockdowns that will be needed, any more capital controls, any more debt printing, any more buying of the financial system, anything that needs to be done, negative rates. They will take it as far as is needed to, quote, stabilize the market. So although I might disagree with it, we also know it's going to happen. I believe that the way this will be positioned is Donald Trump will kind of put this more, at least narrative speaking, on the shoulders of Israel, where the administration, not just Trump, but the administration in general, can say things like, no, Israel's actually leading the airstrikes, not the USA. And that will be kind of a psychological way to sell the idea that we're not in a war, that we didn't start it, it's not the USA, but that it's, self-defense, which there's some argument to that, like what we saw with October 7th, whether or not you thought it was an inside deal or not, which my opinion on that, but that it's Israel leading, not the United States. We're just kind of like allowing it to happen. So I do believe that they need a distraction because, again, what's the guarantee here with my notes? The guarantee is economic, financial destruction, fiat, US dollar sovereignty, hegemonic disorder, disruptive collapse, always results in some kind of physical action set, like Looney Tune cartoons. When they set the little, the little tender and it goes, right? There's got to be something. Embargo to Japan, Pearl Harbor. Dollar collapse and tariff war. You see where I'm going with this. So there's going to be something. And I also want to pray for the nation's security and all of you tuning in. I want to pray that you remain vigilant, especially if you're here in the mainland United States. As you do know, and I don't have to go into too many details, but there are cells that could be activated in the United States, and I want you to be vigilant. And that's why we love our Second Amendment so much. So stay vigilant out there. Okay, I love you. But again, we all know that we're on the heels of something like that. And they're going to need an event like that, again, to sell the people and lead the horse to water and the sheep to the next series of events that they've already pre-planned. It's kind of an equivalent of a 2025 Reichstag moment, right? We know what he did. He burnt the thing down and then blamed the other people, right? Even though it was an inside event. So something like that's going to happen. And I've been way ahead of it. I've been telling you Iran. A lot of you have not liked it. You're like, stop telling me about Iran. I noticed everyone was copying me over the last 24, 48 hours. I mean, even Alex Jones was copying exactly what I said weeks ago. He was on Tucker Carlson yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, nukes could be dropped. There's going to be war with Iran. They're going to draw Donald Trump into and suck us into the next war. Again, I've been way, way ahead of it. Way, way ahead of it. So the global specter of war now is ahead of the American people during the collapse. What will be the challenges ahead? There will be a moment when I believe the president will have to declare executive capital control actions through emergency. That means you're not going to be able to remove your money from the banks. Again, there's going to be needed to be war bonds issued, as we saw during World War II. Obviously, they're gathering more AI, robotic technology to put into the factories. It's not just human labor. It's going to be mostly robotic labor. Elon Musk has shared that with us that, Tesla, for example, is a robot company. It's not a car company. The whole idea of Tesla and inventing Tesla was to create robots. The Tesla cars are robots. They're all connected to a hive algorithmic simulated computer system, which is controlled by Elon Musk and others. Okay, and they're robots. That's how they self-drive. That's how they know when to turn or put their signals on or press the pedal to the metal or not. So you have to understand that this big, new industrialization is an AI-led robotic digital age. How do we know, and how have I known for all of these years, that Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain is the inevitable transition into the new system? Very, very easy. Because I always knew the elites only had two options. And so we'll state those, we'll close the video, you're gonna share it, you're gonna like it, you're gonna take direct action today, over this weekend and on Friday, based on what I'm telling you to do right now. Is they only had two options. One, completely collapse the system, send the American people into a Great Depression. There would be mass loss of life. Terrible situation. Definitely not a good situation. Or two, which we knew that they were going to do, transition the system through a wealth transfer, give a new alternative for the collapsed dollar, Bitcoin, stable coins, digital assets, blockchain, tokenized real estate, tokenized assets, move it all to that as the system breaks down, and then essentially take aggressive action like the central bank has said. They'll do anything that it takes to save America, to prevent option one, and they're going to hyperinflate, destroy your currency, and essentially, if you want to be very cynical, they're going to Ponzi up and bail out and scam everybody and bring it right in and rock hard into the new system. And that's what they're going to do. And we knew that they were going to do that, and we've always known that they were going to do that, because you always look at a man's actions, not what they say, but what they do. Like, again, I'm a man of action. I own $33.5 million of the best beach and ocean front in the world, along with my members. It's not an idea. It's not something I'm telling you about. We already own all of it. I'm about to actually onboard my Learjet, and I'm going to be taking you across all the properties again, just to reinforce and show you guys all the beautiful properties. Meeting with members of a lot of appointments to meet with people that are coming in right now. That's what Papa John's doing right now. He's at lunch in Waikiki, meeting with another member at our multi-million-dollar beachfront place. So again, you always look at a man's actions, not what they say. And so I always looked at the U.S. government and the central bank's actions. I saw what they did in 2008-09. They ripped everyone off. They created a bailout. They created TARP. They bailed out the elites. That's what they did. They broke the rules. They broke the system. You know, we're seeing Trump do it, arguably for good, telling us it's fake news and then saying it's not fake news, then telling the public it's a good time to buy and then pumping it up. I mean, he's even launching meme coins. Why? To cash in 1776 fashion before the reset. You need to cash in. This is what I want you to understand. You've got to cash in while the disruption's taking place, just like Trump. I mean, Trump coin and Melania coin soared to billions and billions of dollars. It was a cash in. You must understand this. Same thing that happened yesterday. It was a cash in. The pause is a cash in. When the stock market hit 3,000 points of the upside suddenly based on Donald Trump's emergency 90-day pause, that's the time to take advantage. And you need to be taking advantage too. Here's how you do it. islandproject.com. Get in, call my dad, text him 808-442-2934. That's 808-442-2934. Roll over your IRAs, retirement accounts immediately. Get in now. Own your physical asset. Enjoy the asset. Earn cash flows, large capital gains, soon to be tokenized. All of our founders are getting our 1000x tokenization in addition to all the traditional advantages of real estate ownership. Just sent our K1s out, by the way. I'm going to be penning a newsletter. And I congratulate all of you, too. We just broke a new appraised market value of the total portfolio. So got a huge announcement on that. K1s represent the book value of the investment. We've spent much of the 2 years not just raising capital, as you all know, but also buying all these amazing properties. And that takes time. We've been taking our own advice, dollar cost averaging. We pulled it all off in 2 years. Freaking incredible. Absolutely amazing. All glory to Jesus. I mean, he told us to build the digital Noah's Ark. Now it's out there sailing. It's amazing. In addition to that, you need to buy RSR. I was the first in the world to tell you about reserve rights. That's RSR. That's my number 1,000x cryptocurrency pick right now. I predicted and told you all long in advance it would be listed on Coinbase. A lot of you didn't believe me. It was just announced last week. You're welcome. How did I know? How did I know? Wink, wink, wink. I think you know. So again, RSR. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Peter Thiel invested. Sam Altman invested. Coinbase Ventures investment. Massive liquidity coming with the Coinbase launch. Paul Atkins advised that he was just confirmed yesterday as the new SEC chairman. God bless you, Paul. Amazing. Perfect storm of up only. Many of you don't even know how good of an opportunity it is. You're like, oh, Chris, if this 10x, it's going to change my life. Bro, we're not 10xing. We're 1000xing. I hope you understand that. I am a massive whale. I don't pour tens of millions of dollars into something not expecting 1000x returns. Are you kidding me? That would be a waste. You know, so you're not thinking big enough. You have no idea what's about to happen. I'm gonna blow your freaking pants and shorts off. Put on your freaking diapers. That's how big it's gonna be. Just like I've made Bitcoin and minted XRP millionaires and Ethereum millionaires. And I've minted you millionaires in the AI space. Ajax pulled 100x on my recommendation at school. CRO, which used to be MCO, which is now crypto.com and has a direct relationship with Donald Trump at the White House, was a 1000x winner at bitcoinrich.com. Brave Token, 1000x winner at its inception, recommended at bitcoinrich.com. All of them, go back, watch the videos. Watch all the freaking videos. You're welcome. So I'm giving you all the free tips. Get your money out of the banks. Capital controls are coming to the United States. America is having a funeral for the US dollar. The nail is in the coffin. Hyperinflation is guaranteed. The U.S. Federal Reserve has admitted that they will take all steps necessary to collapse the system into a hyperinflationary digital reset. Bitcoin is the new global standard reserve. Donald Trump has declared the United States of America Bitcoin and crypto country. All the advisors to Donald Trump are Bitcoin crypto millionaires and billionaires. They just had a meeting a couple weeks ago. All of them. All of my picks, investments, recommendations, tangible advice, and world-class multi-billion-dollar tokenized beachfront, oceanfront, decentralized, diversified, no bank debt real estate portfolio are set to make all of you rich. In the storm, as the Christian billionaire baller superclass serving Jesus Christ, God first and faith first. We have dominated. We will continue to dominate. These are the action sets that need to be taken. How do you buy RSR? Well, it'll be on Coinbase soon, but you need to get in before it goes on Coinbase. There's going to be a quick 10x on the Coinbase listing because all that new liquidity. And by the way, the exchange has to buy now billions of dollars worth of RSR to handle the new liquidity that's going to be needed for the transaction sets to occur on the exchange. Coinbase is a large exchange in the world. And the only way that they can provide a liquidity pool is what they call is they've got to buy the token itself. So I hope you understand that for those of you that are new to the educational space here, Coinbase is going to be buying billions of dollars worth of RSR reserve rights tokens. It has to offer the marketplace for the actual liquidity pool that takes place on Coinbase. That's how it works. So a huge announcement like this is massive. But that's small beans compared to what is coming. Small beans. RSR reserve rights token is included in the new reserve standard of the U.S. federal government. I hope you understand that Peter Thiel and others that are Donald Trump close advisors who elected J.D. Vance and funded all of J.D. Vance's political career, their investments are the ones that are going to be bought as a part of the new crypto reserve standard here in the United States. As the United States becomes the Bitcoin crypto capital of the world, as Donald Trump brings us into the new blockchain reset, it has to be bought. It's a guarantee. Tokenized real-world assets, new digitized blockchain economies backed by real stuff, fractionalized, tokenized. This is what BlackRock is moving into now. Jeff Bezos is also moving into actual fractional real estate. He's doing it with more middle market homes. You can't use any of them, but it'll be a way to just buy a piece of middle America. So I want you to understand, home prices aren't going down. The reset, as they long foretold, of what you will own nothing and be happy and eat crickets is happening now. The goal was to create an affordability crisis through new technology and human replacements in the robotic digital AI age. Guys, we haven't seen anything like this since the first industrial revolution. I want you to understand this. Since the early factory jobs, I mean, do you know the kind of crazy upheaval is going to take place with artificial intelligence and robots? Do you know most Americans, 7 out of 10, don't even feel like they have job security? You have to get rich. You know, all these jobs are going to be replaced. All these service jobs are going to be replaced. I mean, logistical jobs are going to be replaced. All of it. Governments are being replaced. Elon Musk is replacing the U.S. government with Doggy. It's an AI infrastructure governance board. The robots in the factories and the robots in your home and Tesla bots will replace all of human society, all of artificial, all of it. Even creativity and art, financial trading and algorithms and Wall Street's all going to be tokenized, all going to be running by artificial intelligence. Air traffic control. The list goes on and on. Governments. New city-states. Wealth. It's all going that way. Now, here's what we fear as Christians, of course, and it's why I built the digital Noah's Ark, and it's why I've personally deployed financial resources, and dedicated my life to this journey along with all of you. And I'm so humbled, and I give it all to God. I really do give it all to the King. But the reason why I built that is because as Christians, we fear what's coming. We fear that our non-compliance of the mark is going to turn, us off. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And we're getting closer, and we're entering a tribulatory period, and we're getting to the point that in a not too distant future, it's going to be difficult to buy or sell. We know that the world's going to blame Christians like us for the problems. We know they're going to blame us too for not taking the brain chip and the mark. We know that they're going to blame us. They're going to be like, well, Christopher, you can eat. All you have to do is take that mark of the beast chip. And I'm going to be like, but I don't want the chip. They're going to be like, it's your fault that you're not complying. We all complied. We all did what we were told by the deep state and the government. I'll be like, but I predicted that. I don't want to take that. It says it here in my Bible, here, Revelation, that we don't take the mark, that we refuse it. So we know where it's going. And I'm not necessarily here to preach to you today. I'll preach to you tomorrow. But we know where it's going. So I want you to understand why I've deployed hundreds of millions of dollars, why I'm the first Christian billionaire ever in the crypto blockchain space, how you and I are representative of the revolution for building kingdom wealth. Is because we know what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And like Noah, we are building the digital Noah's Ark. We are the good guys fighting back on your behalf. We are the real Americana and the real 1776. And we kneel for no one, and we do not comply, except for Jesus the King. And so I want you to understand that where this comes from is a spiritual awakening. It's not just about money. It's not just about the flash or the diamond rings or, I've shown you a lot of success. And all glory to God, I'm very successful. But it's not about that. It's about what we know is ahead. And it's about tools. Look, David only had a slingshot. God gave him a kingdom. Gave him power. Gave him success. Gave him a tool that a lot of people think they didn't even have one. A lot of you are selling yourself short. You're like, well, Chris, I don't have much. You've got a slingshot and a pebble, baby. You better use that in freaking 1000X along with me. And that's how it works. You got to believe first. You got to have faith, number one. And then all of it comes together because God's in charge. I've seen him do it in my own life, and he blows my mind every single day. I wake up some days and I see what he's done, and I'm like, you did that. How did you do that? Many of you think you can't become a millionaire. You do realize just by taking action today that all God will do and has to do is snap his fingers. You wake up with $100 million in your bank account. Tomorrow, it's that easy. It's not hard. We must lead faith first. We must understand that these are tools. You must understand that these are the pebbles that are needed to defeat the evil, and that you are a solution to the problem, and that solutions are the most powerful things that we can do. Solutions are the most powerful investments. Solutions are the most powerful spiritual-led lives that we can live. I've always said this too for years. You want to make $1 million, solve 1 million people's problems. Want to make $1 billion, solve 1 billion people's problems. Solve people's problems, folks. Provide and create and invent and lead faith first and lead with the greatness of God. You have greatness inside of you. And so I call on you today to take action. Take action. Pray on the things that you need to be doing. Sharpen your sword. Study and follow what's going on. And of course, we're all, enthralled on what's going on day to day. It's, crazy out there. I mean, the wars and, the instability and the attacks and the deep state and Trump and this and that. I mean, it's wild. Markets up and down, thousands of points every single day, tariffs and then pauses. I mean, it's getting wild, but don't get caught up in the noise. Be the steadfast hand. Be the solution to your own problems. Lead faith first. Ask God to provide and help you along the way. I'm living proof of it. He's done it for me. He's going to do it for you. He has done it for many of you already. So just understand that, these weren't predictions the last 10 years. We already knew that this was going to happen. These aren't accidents. It's design. It's all in our Bibles. We already know what's ahead. We already know where it's going, and there's so much amazingness for us all to enjoy and be thankful for. So great video. Please like and share it. More importantly, take action. Don't just consume content and then do nothing. We'd love to help you. We're here to help. We are closing out our founders round. You'll never get another chance to get into it, ever. There is, I have to say, not financial advice, see our terms and disclaimers, but there's essentially no risk. When you own the Island Project today, you immediately own a diversified portfolio of the best real estate in the world, immediately. You can use the properties, you get paid cash flows, capital gains, you become part of an ecosystem, and you get access to our tokenization launch, which is literally just separate, a cherry on top, giving you a hot fudge sundae just because we're awesome and we're ballers, for crying out loud. The core real estate investment itself will make you rich. Not to mention the freaking 1000x tokenization. And what's so key about the founders round, for those of you that are new and don't understand this, only my founders will ever get in on that IPO. So we're going to be trading across Coinbase and Gemini and Kraken and Uniswap and DEXs, and it's going to be trading, our token's going to be trading all around the world. And we are the first token actually backed by something physically real, already owned with no bank debt. That's going to fund billions of dollars worth of acquisitions worldwide. You've seen nothing yet. If you think what we've done yet so far is cool, you've seen nothing yet. I'm giving you guys giant yacht tours all through Thailand, flying all over Tokyo in Learjets. People are like, oh, that's so cool. You've seen nothing yet. You don't understand. You're thinking too small. You have no idea where this is going. We are an entirely new nation state country. We are an entirely new digitized blockchain, physically asset-backed system. We are an entirely new opportunity of wealth creation and prosperity. You've never seen anything like this. This is the most amazing thing that has ever been built in the history of the world. You are the solution. You and God create the opportunities through your actions and disciplines and faith. You have the opportunity, and that window is closing, and life is running out of time. So go make disciples out there. Go to church this weekend. Open up your Bibles. Call my dad. Text him at 808-442-2934. I'm pretty sure his voicemail is completely full. The way to get an app in, by the way, and you should get in with at least 150 units, we've been forced to raise our minimums. We had our minimum, which was only $30K, for crying out loud, for a very long time, but we've been forced to raise our minimums. You should be coming in at least with 150K. 500, you should hit our 1,000 tier number. You should be DCAing. And then what I'm really excited about this summer too is, of course, just all the visitation and the enjoyment of what we built. That's what's been a lot of fun too, because we've worked so hard, man. And I'm a workaholic. I work all the time. I produce videos every day. I mean, all my investments, everything that I love to do, and teaching and stuff. But what's rewarding to me is the fact that we've built something that improves people's lives. It's not a stupid stock. You can't do anything with your stock. You watch your stock go up and down. There's nothing to do with it. It's just like, hey, look, it's a piece of paper. Island Project, when you buy 1,000 shares of the Island Project, you get 30 days comped at all of our multi-million-dollar properties. You can go sail around in the yacht in Thailand. Awesome, right? Plus you're making money all day long. Plus you're being tokenized. Plus you're a part of an ecosystem and a really, Christian mafia network. You get direct access to my father and me. We're smart, guys. We're pretty smart people. So, and along with all my members are very, very smart, highly intelligent, hugely successful people from all walks of life. And we all have a common vision and an ethos. They say this about relationships too. What makes a meaningful relationship is a common vision, a common ethos, common values. And so I want you to understand that the Island Project is truly the first of its kind network. Digital and also physical, with a common vision, a common value set, a common ethos. And what is that? Faith first, God first, amazing individuals, 1000xing their lives, showing and leading by example to others around them, and improving everyone around them. Again, my goal isn't for you to necessarily just go out and buy a Bentley, although I hope you do, and I hope you love it and enjoy it. I hope you think it's fun. It's just a car. It doesn't matter. My real goal for all of you is to get to your highest self, get to your highest level, go build churches, go save souls, be such a bright light, have so much of the Holy Spirit inside you every day. You're grinning from ear to ear. That's just spouting out to the rooftops, Show people there's another way. There's another road that they could be taking. Yeah, it's narrow. It can be hard at times. It's going to take discipline and hard work. You're going to have to roll up these sleeves and get dirty. But it's a better road. It's so much more rewarding. Just like sports. You know, just like becoming an All-American. I always attribute it to my success as an athlete, because that wasn't easy either. Waking up in the morning every day at 4 a.m. and jumping into a pool, freezing my butt off all day, and then working out like 8 hours a day, and then playing all over the week. I didn't even have time. I never went out. I didn't even have an opportunity to go do anything. I was just playing sports all day. Made me a Division I All-American. Took me to college on scholarship. That's amazing. D1 started my first year out of the gate. How did that happen? Taking the narrow road. People want to know how I got rich. Taking the narrow road, leading with God and faith first. That's the secret. And you can all take that road with me today. You can all onboard islandproject.com right now. You can all text 808-442-2934. You can roll over your 401ks. You can speak with my father. You can fill out an app that takes just 3 minutes at islandproject.com. You can come in with 500 units, 1,000 units, 250 units, 100 units right now. You can take the action. You can improve your life. You can 1,000x. Do it with us. And also, you know, just the reward of just the community, I think, is our greatest asset. My dad has mentioned that many times. He says, you know, not only have we made world-class investments, Christopher, and he told me the other day, because I was pretty tired, and I've been kind of emotional lately too. We've had some deaths in the family and stuff, and it's been kind of hard, honestly. I don't really always share that on camera, and it does affect me. But he told me, son, I'm proud of you. You've done something great. You did it for the kingdom. We've won. He's won. My dad said he's proud of me. Man, that makes a difference. He says, you know what, son? Our strength isn't just the fact we've built a multi-billion-dollar asset class and we're doing all these great things. But he said, you know what? Our strength is in the people. It is in the people of Island Projects, all these great people, all these great members, all these great investors, all these amazing Christians. He says, that's what matters, son. I'm freaking proud of you. I'm proud of you, Papa John. I freaking love you. 1,000 freaking X, baby. And we're going to the moon. Jesus Christ is Lord. And I love you all. I love you all. Please like and share this emergency video. This emergency action set blueprint of the exact things you need to be doing today. And share it with your friends and share it with your family and explain to them what's happening now. Explain to them how to get out of the dollar. And I've always said, hey, man, if you don't do it with us, go do it on your own. You need to be buying as much of this beautiful real estate as you can. You need to be getting out of the dollars as fast as you can, out of the banks, then rush out of the banks now. Buy gold, buy silver, get into physical assets, buy commodities, internationally diversify, which is what we're doing as well, and get out. Build then your own private ecosystem. Then build an entire, this is hard, by the way. You build an entire community. We've already built it. We already did all the legwork for you. We already found everybody. We already got all the most amazing people in the world. We use the power of the internet. But see, that's what you need to be doing. So even if you don't do it with us, then go do it and reinvent the entire wheel again and go do it for yourself. But the truth be told is there's more power in unity than there is with a single individual. And I've said this over the last 2 years. I could have done this, just my father and I, but we realized that that wouldn't be the most powerful success point. Because you can't just be one person on an island by yourself. You have to have a team. You have to have good people. That's the strength. The strength is a network. The strength is a community. Look at AMTV. What's the strength of it? Eyeballs, people that tune in, people that have been following me for 20 years. It's the network effect. So you have to understand the power of that. And the power of the network effect of the #1 investment in the world is a very powerful thing. It's what's created $33.5 million of no bank debt real estate. When I step into the tangible properties now and hear the waves slap me in the face, I'm in awe. Because the network effect is a powerful thing. So I want you to understand, for those of you thinking that you're powerless, you're not. But you've got to onboard. You've got to get your surfboards out. Ride this freaking tsunami with me. Get on board. Hang freaking 10, baby. Get in. You have to understand this. You've got to get the surfboard out. You got to go out into the water. Don't watch me surf this thing. Get on with me. We've got amazing ecosystem updates coming too. I mean, again, our vision is massive. I mean, private air charter, private boat charter, private network. The whole goal is to build our own, which we've done, private ecosystem. It's outside of the system. It's outside of the banks. This is what the elites do for themselves. All the global elites own lots of properties, diversified and decentralized. They have a private network. They've got, their own yachts. They've got their own air travel. They have their own staff. That's how they operate. They've created a network around themselves. How do you think Elon Musk operates? There's a team, okay? And this needs to be done for you. And you need to stick with like minds. That's the biggest thing too. I mean, sticking with like minds and Christians is the number one thing that you need to be doing, period, at the end of the day. And I always encourage you guys too. You need to follow people and onboard and team up with people that are on the right side of history, that are on your team. That we pray for people too to come to Christ that aren't Christians, and that's okay. And we have non-Christians and stuff, and other people that are investors, etc. But we pray that people, I pray Elon Musk becomes a Christian. I really do. Even with criticizing him sometimes. But because he's not, I'm never really going to fully go along with him. You know what I mean? Because I know he's not a Christian. I know he doesn't have my same value system, and I don't know what his intentions are. You see what I'm saying? We don't pretend to be perfect. Nobody is. I'm not. I'm a sinner just like all you guys tuning in. But you know what my values are. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters, to me at least. I've never made an investment in anything where my values weren't aligned to it. And I think that that's what's beautiful. And that's why I told you to get all your money out of the banks years ago. I mean, my values, I'm just speaking for myself here. My values don't align with JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan Chase and Jamie Dimon funded that guy, I'm not going to mention his name all that year, over and did all those heinous things. I'm not going to say the words because I want to keep it PC here. But I'm not going to do business with that company because my values don't align with that. I'm against what they had done. And so I vote with my wallet. I vote with what I stand for. Right? I mean, Island Project was birthed literally from God, commanded by him as a solution to the problem sets that we saw around us. Lockdowns, economic collapse, hyperinflation, the technology trend, the move to Bitcoin and tokenization, the global shakeup. All of that was birthed, built. And I'll be pinning this in my newsletter as I repeat over and over again. People are like, well, Christopher, what are you going to do now that the system's kind of in this disruption? Well, that's why we built the Island Project. We built it for dollar collapse. You do understand that. We built islandproject.com for the collapse of the US dollar, for the collapse of the banking system. We built it for World War III. We built it for bank runs. It's been built strategically for the capital controls coming to the United States, built for the geopolitical conflict and wars, built for the Bitcoin reset, built for the United States becoming the new Bitcoin reserve standard country of the world. It was built for every single one of those things, built for lockdowns. It was built for it. So I want you to understand, we built it, biddle it and they will come. Just like Field of Dreams, I've always joked, biddle it and they will come. Biddle it and they will come. The Digital Noah's Ark, God bless you. Jesus Christ is King. I'm humbled to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and share. Please just leave a comment too. You can do that too. Just leave a little comment. Be like, yo, what's up, General? What's up, what's up, what's up? If you have any questions, also ask me, hey, Chris, how do I buy RSR? I'll even help you out this weekend. I'll do my best. I can't respond to every comment, but I will do my best. And we've got so many great announcements coming. We have more acquisitions. Of course, I'll be announcing very, very soon. I also encourage, our member investors, especially as you're hitting tiers, rocking the 150, the 250, the 500, and the 1,000 units. Please come out, visit, and enjoy your properties. Tell your friends about us. When you're out in Kapalua and you're walking on the beach, getting a suntan, having a Mai Tai with your wife, driving our lifted, loaded Jeeps at every single property, send a picture out to your friends and be like, hey, Bob, remember how you told me this was a scam? Well, check it out, man. Check out the lifestyle over here. Send them a text message. Meet us for lunch, shake my dad's hand, have a real conversation with us, come out surfing with us, play a freaking round of golf, enjoy yourself. But you got to make sure you got to hit these tiers. For those of you asking, how much should I invest? How much do I need to get in for the real gains? You got to at least hit 150, man, especially if you want to take advantage of our tokenization event. You know, to take advantage truly of the tokenization, man, you've got to hit that tier, especially if you're going if you want to use properties. The greatest value of the island project, which I actually don't say enough, is that when you invest, you're paying yourself. So I want you to understand this. If you go stay at a hotel, if you try to book a flight to Maui right now, okay, and you're going to bring a family of 4 with you, and let's say you're going to go stay a week at one of the 4 or 5 star hotels, you're going to be out 10 or 15 grand at least. You ain't paying yourself. You're paying for an experience, and that's awesome, and that's great. But the money's going out the door forever. So I want you to keep this in mind. When you come out and visit properties, and even my minimum investors that came in with 30 units, they get discounts, 45% off the rack rate at all the properties. So let's say a normal daily rate is, you know, I don't know, 700 a night or 1,000 a night or whatever. They're paying 45% rack rate. When they're paying in to the stay, which this is not a timeshare, it's real, true 100% equity rights ownership. They're paying into their own investment. So I want you to understand, my members staying at properties, paying into their own investment, are making themselves money. You understand that, right? So when they're enjoying themselves, or my millionaires, my already millionaires at the 1,000 tier level, which is an amazing value, with so much access, when they utilize 30 days a year at the properties, they're paying themselves. That's a dividend in and of itself. And even if you're 30K, which had been our long-standing minimum, although we've unfortunately been forced to raise them with all the success that we've had and the fact that we have to close the doors, have to legally, can't keep them open any longer, which is why I need to get in this weekend. That when you're paying the rack rate, you're paying yourself. So our members collectively are only increasing the asset value of their own investment. You know, it's like dollar cost averaging into yourself. You're only assuring your own success. You're only making sure and guaranteeing you're becoming wealthier by utilizing the actual asset yourself. So it's a very big take a home point, which my dad stresses too all the time. But he's like, yeah, people need to really understand. He tells me, make sure that I share it with you, which is why I am now. People are paying themselves into their own investment, which is only making you more money. And we designed it that way for a reason. Or, you know, go stay at a hotel, don't get anything back in return. You might get a good experience, but that's it. Get no gains, get no ownership, get no community, and get no tokenization. You see how it's like the two options, like you would not be that smart not to be in. You're like, honestly, anyone that's actually, and I've said this for 2 years now, because this has been 2 years. And this is 100% fact. Ask my father about this. 100% facts. Anyone that's ever bought Island Project, who then has come and visited us, has doubled, tripled, or 10x their investment with us every single time. And every single investor shakes our hand and they're like, we can't believe this is real. This is the best thing we've ever done. And then they invest more. And my investors too, they love the fact too of just what we're doing, fighting the deep state. I'm not going to give their names out, but they have $500,000 with me and my dad. And every time they come in, they just, you know, are in our ear and they shake my dad's hand or they shake my hand. And say, guys, I just love what we're freaking doing, man. 1776. You know who you are. My boys out in Texas, man. You guys are freaking amazing, dude. I love you so much. God bless, dude. I got a lot. I got veterans in the project. I got sharpshooters in the project. I got badasses, man. SEALs in the project, dude. I got oil men in the project, man. I got huge real estate guys in the project that have, you know, in the commercial space, actually. One of the guys in California, really wealthy dude. I got a lot of people here in Arizona. We've got a lot of local Hawaii too, which is amazing too. You know, people always complain they can't afford anything in Hawaii. It's like, bro, buy Island Project and you'll literally take all the land back. You do realize that, right? We are the only democratized opportunity in the world you can take the land. Like, seriously, It's the coolest design ever. But again, we are the innovators for a reason. Jesus Christ is king. I'm going to take a dip, man. It's getting kind of hot out today, and I just hope you have a great weekend. I'll keep you updated, too, on RSR action. You got to get into that, guys, because it's going to be a sudden announcement on the Coinbase listing, and then if you're not in, you're going to miss, at least short term, you know, you're going to miss that quick 10x pop. I don't want you to miss that. And so many of you are underestimating. You think that would be like good news. Bro, that ain't good news. I don't personally invest for a 10x. I invest for a 1000x. So I didn't buy RSR thinking we're going like 5x, dude. So anyways, I love you. God bless you. Islandproject.com. Fill out an app today. 808-442-2934. 808-442-2934. Let us know how we can help, and have a beautiful weekend and get your money out of the banks like your life depends on it, because it does. God bless.